What's up guys, this is Astranox. This is my second account and I've got 4 Moonlight summons because I was climbing in the abyss. And yeah, let's just do it and see what happens. And after that I'm gonna be reviewing the Mystic pool, and after I'll check the arena meta. So yeah, this is my second account. All my accounts 1, 2, 3, I'm free to play. And I have a lot of gold on this account. I'm farming golem 11 with all my energy, all my sky stones. And I've been saving up, of course, and when there's a really good piece that drops, I just power it up and see what happens. And I have not done that much crafting on this account, but yeah, let's see what happens with these Moonlight summons. Let's see what happens. That's a lot, man. Gold transmit stone, I've never got that. Like, I've never holded on to that many, but I was just climbing and like saving them up. And yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Still no natural 5-star Moonlight hero. I've done so many summons, I mean, across all 3 accounts. Yeah, it's definitely over 50 for sure now. But yeah, let's go. What will I get? Is it gonna shine? She gonna pop from the right? It's shining, baby. It's shining. Oh, what a start though. Oh my god, I have her already. Got her from the Mystic summons. Oh my. Yeah, I use her a lot on offense in Arena and in Guild Wars. She is definitely helpful there. Get that whole team-wide immunity, that's quite powerful. And stealing buffs, I mean, giving them to your team as well, that's quite huge. But yeah, she definitely shines more on offense. Okay, that was one. I mean, yeah, there's still 3 more. So, no. Okay. Oh god. He's new. Doris. I still have not gotten any Doris across all 3 accounts. So there's that. Be really cool to have her. Oh, let's back out of this thing. This is like, this is well style, man. Back-to-back Moonlight summons. Nope. Doris. Oh no, Elson. Okay, well, yo, it's so quick. It's so quick. Now the last one. Let's do one on a little bit. Let's just do one. Okay, now back to the Moonlight. It was just going to be a 3-star. And it's still just a 3-star. Maybe Doris? Ah, Mirsa. New heroes, but yeah, got those on other accounts. So yeah, that was that Crescent Moon Rin. I mean, if I didn't have her, that'd be huge. But yeah, I already have her. So let's move on to this Mystic summon pool. This week, I mean, there's 4 days left. And the week after that, it's I mean, it's still ML Cecilia and champion Zerato. Now this week though, I would say you would summon on this if you need Karen. Karen is widely used. Like, she's very powerful with her skill 2 and to skill 1. This gets 50% crit damage bonus. I mean, it's almost like she can take out anything with this combo. Very, very strong. On the other hand, like, you get him for free. Leo, you don't see Leo being used. Yeah, Leo's not really used that much. If he is used, it's very niche. And Surin, well, She's the bleed queen. She deals a lot of damage. Becomes crazy when the more bleed are applied on the target. But since Wyvern 11, I mean, she's not being used that much. Durandal, that's good. That's good. I mean, it's no Idol's Cheer. It's kind of underpowered compared to Idol's Cheer, because I mean that's a buff in combat readiness at any health percentage, and then when your healer is alone, it's getting combat readiness every time it gets attacked. So I mean, Idol's Cheer compared to this is overpowered. But I mean, you can have Durandal on your warrior and then have Idol's Cheer as well. So when they use an AoE attack and you're below 75% health, you're getting double combat readiness boost. But it's being used on a few warriors. So yeah, Durandal is definitely good. The thing is, you can just buy that from the shop with powder. Sigrid, I mean, she got buffed. She can do some pretty insane damage if you're able to apply a bunch of debuffs, but I mean, it's gonna be for PvE most of the time, really. Like, you don't see her in PvP, and relying on debuffs, that's not a good idea usually, because well, they stack effect resistance the higher you go in PvP. So I would say this rotation is not so hot. But if you're in the early game, like Carmen Rose, she's amazing for Golem 11 if you don't have Soul Bad Guy, of course. And Misty Chain can be used in Wyvern 11. I mean, any Wyvern to make your run safer. She heals, and those this attack down debuff is very, very strong, 100% chance with skill ups. And yeah, I mean, the healing is definitely helpful, but she's not a main healer, she's a backup. Daydream Joker, always good to have more to limit break. Yeah, you can have a few of them, 2 plus 30 later down the line, and that definitely speed things up the more health the target has. So yeah, I guess that's it for this this rotation. Let's talk about this one here. Of course, alright, sorry about that. So Fallen Cecilia, I didn't talk about her, well, I kind of did in my previous videos, but she is definitely super strong. Knight, she can wear Aureus. That, I mean, even with Elbrus Ritual Sword, she counter attacks and 100% chance to provoke if you have enough effectiveness, if you don't get resisted, if they don't have immunity. That is really cool. Like, if you have enough speed, you could pretty much like lock down a target almost forever, which is very powerful. And with Elbrus Ritual Sword, if they're using AoE attacks, she can counter attack quite often, and yeah, she can get a few targets on, I mean, provoked. So that's very powerful. Provoke on skill 1. Don't just, I mean, remember that it's very strong in PvP especially. And this barrier, I mean, at the start you get barrier applied on your team. This increases their survival against like cleave teams, so like teams that heavily rely on just bursting you down on turn 1. And I mean, yeah, it definitely ups your survival by a lot with in combination with Aureus. If you have like Crimson Armament as well as Fallen Cecilia, the survival increase from both is insane, because Crimson Armament, she reduces critical damage by up to 30% with her skill 2 passive. So together with Fallen Cecilia, the fact that there's that barrier, and every time she goes it applies barrier as well, but this is on herself, that's really good in terms of survival. But this thing here, the skill nullifier, means like you don't take any damage when you have it on for the first attack. So you could time this, be it PvP, be it PvE, where when there's going to be like a really like strong attack coming your way, you could even use that. So like when you come and like when you go and kill Arbiter Vildred, you have it up, and then you're not taking like any damage. So that's really, really strong. Plenty of ways to really like kind of abuse the skill. And the cooldown, well, it goes down to 5 turns, and also the soul burn effect of 2-turn reduction for only 10 souls. That's really good as well. That's going to be 3-turn cooldown on that thing. So a very, very powerful hero. And there's effect resistance on the memory imprint. You can just use normal Cecilia to imprint her. So champion Zerato, you don't see him use too much really in PvP. In higher level play, he's just not there because, I mean, his survival stats are too low. And yeah, I mean, those debuffs are good. It's not 100% chance, but 4 turn. And there's the ignore effect resistance. That's cool, but I wish it was 100% chance to apply defense down and attack down, the 2 strongest debuffs in the game for offense and for defense. Now this, I mean, this is good, but if he has hit chance, like the miss debuff, the hit chance reduction debuff, if he misses, he's not gonna transfer a debuff. It is 1 at a time, so really, like, when you're when there's like 3-4 debuffs on you, it's just gonna take too long. I mean, he's not gonna be able to do much, and that's gonna be the end of the battle before he can even do anything. So really, like, you can use him in PvE though. If you have Illis Violent, you can definitely use him in Azimac Hunt. He's gonna be constantly removing the Berserk buff off of the boss, so that's really cool. And there's gonna be quite a few counter attacks because, well, when he gets debuff, so that's good there. You can definitely use him as well in Golem 11, but he will need more survival stats, and I feel like you might just be using him when you kind of outgear the content, unless, I mean, you make him like really tanky. I mean, he's gonna be transferring defense down, so that's really good. And in between Cataclysm and transferring debuff, he's going to be able to have a pretty high uptime on defense down debuff against the Golem, so that's actually quite good. And also, not only that, but the Crystal applies defense down in stage 11, so yeah, there's going to be a lot of opportunities to transfer this debuff to the Golem, so that's actually quite good. And of course, immunity to stun, so you can get stunned during Golem, so I mean, he has immune to that. So that's really good. And yeah, the counter attack is going to be quite a bit of damage. The thing is, you definitely have to build him quite with pretty good survival. So of course he's not gonna be able to like go all in on that DPS on him with crazy offensive stats. But still, I mean, depends on your gear level. Anyways, I talked enough about him. Now this rotation here is yeah, to me this is this rotation is so much better than the previous one. I mean, can it even be compared? Okay, so let's talk about it here. We've got, I mean, this hero, Lidica, is super strong in Golem 11, but I mean, that's not the only place. You can use her in so many different areas of the game, so that's a huge thing. You can control the Golem so it doesn't even have a turn because you're just resetting the combat readiness. We don't see actually the Third Awakening skill change when we inspect the hero like this, but yeah, the skill nullifier, that's very good. Decrease speed and decrease combat readiness, that's just a combination of the 100% combat readiness reduction plus the decreased speed. That's 30% reduction in speed. It's just so strong, man. 4 turn cooldown on that thing, and yeah, the constant CR decrease is very powerful, and decreased hit chance, that's 50% chance of them missing their attack. Very, very powerful. But the Golem cannot miss. That's the thing, though. The Golem cannot miss, but in any other places, I believe they can definitely miss. So just by the way, like the hunt bosses cannot miss their attack. So yeah, this thing though, I mean, it's good. It's good. It's not like super overpowered, but I mean, it's okay. It's okay on some heroes. I'm not gonna talk too much about it because I don't have first-hand experience. But yeah, anyways, Sid, man, he like can delete a target so easily with this skill. You actually have elemental advantage when you have speed buff. So him paired with a Rose Zeed is a kind of a ultimate combo. He can really like deal a huge amount of damage. I've been using him for so long. Defense down, man, he can apply defense down every time he has speed buff with this. Yeah, you don't see it because he needs to be awakened. Dingo can definitely be used. Yeah, he dispel all debuffs and decrease cooldown with, I mean, this thing, with yeah, that -1 turn cooldown. It's actually quite long, but he's a 4-star hero, so I mean, that's why. You don't really see him use that much though. That's the thing. His damage is, I mean, it's alright. It's just that he kind of relies on bleeding. If the target is not bleeding, well, he's not gonna be applying this burn. So let's say you're using him for Golem 11. I mean, the tree is gonna be removing debuffs off of the Golem, so this thing doesn't have such a good chance to actually trigger. And I mean, bleed deal some damage, 30% based on your attack, and bypasses 70% of the target's defense. But it's not. It's burn is twice this amount. It's 60% of your attack and bypasses 70% of the target's defense. So it's twice as powerful. But of course, you can apply in general, you can apply more bleeding effects. Or the bleeding effect is gonna last more turns. But yeah, anyways, Dingo, I mean, he's alright. But if you have ML Dingo, that's some memory imprints are, of course. Clarissa, she's a pretty strong cleaver, especially early on. After that, well, there's better options, but defense down for 2 turns, that's really powerful. I mean, you can use her as a farmer, especially. Farmer, Wyvern 11, you can use her in Arena Cleaving, you can use her in Guild War Cleaving. But yeah, you usually want a combat readiness booster plus an attack buffer to really use Clarissa. You want to make sure you kill someone, so with this passive you get an extra area attack against everyone, and when she's enraged she deals more damage. So I mean, it's a really strong hero for a 4-star. Definitely one of the better ones out there. And I mean, yeah, Ether, if you have a Guider Ether, that's memory imprint. Jetch, if you want speed memory imprint. Jetch is really used a lot in Banshee, and he's great there because his passive removes a debuff every time he goes. I mean, 100% chance with skill ups. You can even have a Wondrous Potion Vial on him, and he's going to be able to remove two debuffs every time he goes. That's crazy if the Wondrous Potion Vial is actually maxed out. Tarnar Guard, heavily used in Wyvern 11. I mean, you can definitely use him a lot in the Abyss as well. You can check my Abyss videos. I use him a lot paired with Silk. Very good hero. You don't see Butcher Corp Inquisitor really used, but I mean, he's a knight, and this passive can do some really interesting things. And I don't know, maybe in the World Boss we need a tank, and yeah, I mean, he could be the one if they don't disable our passive. That is so good. I mean, that allows you to reduce like any damage you take. It's gonna reduce it to a maximum of 35% of his health. So that's an incredible passive. So I always wanted to like kind of build him, but never got around to doing it. But yeah, he's an interesting hero. It's just his multipliers are not quite there, and he needs a lot of health for this skill to actually deal a lot of damage. So I kind of wanted to build him with like low health and use this passive, but then like this is not going to deal as much damage, so that's unfortunate. So yeah, Akatis, man, she's such an amazing healer. So like just the fact that you've got Akatis, Sid, and then you've got Clarissa too in the 4-star hero department, that's so good, man, in one rotation. And then you've got the chance of like 5-star hero artifact, and Mel Cecilia, of course. I mean, this rotation is just so much better than the other one, I feel like. And yeah, 3-star artifact, nothing too exciting there. This is definitely not used too much, but it's the same effect as Crimson Armin. It's just that it doesn't go as high. I believe it's something like, I don't know, 18% when it's maxed out or something like that, versus Crimson Armin, she gives 30% crit damage reduction team-wide. That's just too powerful, man. I feel like they kind of need to nerf her. It's just so good as a 4-star Moonlight hero, but yeah, it's never gonna happen. Anyway, so this is definitely really good on a lot of Rangers, especially Bellona, and of course Silk as well. But this thing is pretty nuts on Bellona. And yeah, you can definitely use that on Lytica as well. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this one, guys. Actually, wait, I had to check the arena. My god, this is longer than I thought. So yeah, this is my second account. It's not as highly ranked as the other two. Let's check the ranking real quick. I talked too long about these Mystic Heroes. Maybe I should check the season ranking. Or I could just go through it real quick in this one. I usually spend much more time. But yeah, Arbiter Vildred, man, he's there. Defense, offense, he's there. He's still there, man. Still there. Even after a little bit got released, they're still using him on defense, man. There's a Violet on that rank 2. You don't see Violet too much. That's good. A lot of Moonlight heroes usually in the top, but there's some some players that don't use too many Moonlight heroes. Hongyo, I mean Ruel with Crimson Armand, just like some of the two most powerful Moonlight heroes to increase your team survival. But I mean, with a little bit, you can just like make sure that someone dies for good. I mean, that's the thing. You kind of have to kill them for that to happen. So I don't know exactly how much survival these heroes have, but pretty sure it's like quite insane. And they have like a reser, a healer, must be like around 200% effect resistance, no problem. These guys are farming kind of non-stop, and yeah, I mean, as a free-to-play player, you can you can't compete. Like, the longer the game stays alive, the more you will drop in ranking, because of course they're farming, and I mean, you're just there not farming as effectively as them, or just can't just spam hunts and craft forever, get so much gold. But yeah, Arbiter Vildred, man, I counted the other week before, like when he got released, there was 42 in the top 100. You know what, let's just count that. Let's just count that. So 3, probably gonna miss one. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, wait, 10, 11, 12, 17, 22, 31, there's a 39. Wait, 39, or maybe I missed some. I mean, it seems to be yeah, close to 40, or it could be around 40. Still, that's still a lot of Arbiter Vildred, even after a little bit got released. It's just like he deals insane damage, and you can have Arbiter Vildred with Moonlight Dreamblade, and yeah, you think you're gonna like one-shot him, but then like nope, it's a miss, and that's it. That's it. Your whole you might be using ML a lot, and maybe using Chaos Axe, maybe you're using Bloodblade Karen, maybe using normal Karen, maybe using a little bit, and then he just evades your attack, and then you have to wait for cooldown, and maybe it just you're not able to get there. You just die before. So it's definitely rough, man. And even if you kill him, well, you still have to kill the rest of the team, and they might be like ultra tanky. So it's definitely rough. It's definitely rough. And here, I'm just gonna show it real quick, and that's gonna be the end of the video. Okay. But yeah, Fallen Cecilia, man, she like an extra layer of survival for your team. And you see her, she's been used quite a bit. I mean, these are the top players for the season in global, and I mean, you can't say that everyone has her. That's the thing, though. Like, some of these players, they've been using all their mystic summons for maybe a Moonlight hero that showed up before, and maybe they just don't want ML Cecilia, and they're saving for the next big thing. Because I mean, they usually just release hero that like kind of power creeps, and then there's a counter, or later on there's a counter. They're trying to counter whatever they release before. It's just to keep things going. And so I mean, player base wants to yeah, they're excited about the new stuff, because I mean, it's always helping for the current meta problems. But revive is extremely powerful. Extinction, of course, does help, but I mean, you have to kill with a little bit so you can actually make use of that extinction. If you don't kill, well, that's a rip. So yeah, Arbiter Vildred, he's still widely used, and I mean, his damage is quite ridiculous. I mean, he comes back, attack your whole team, decrease hit chance, 2 turns. He's got attack buff, man, when he comes back, 100% health. And I mean, he's elemental neutral, so there's that. And then, like, every time he kills, it resets the cooldown of his skill 3, which is completely crazy. Yeah, huge buff to him, and still very dominant in the arena meta, even after a little bit got released. It's just a little bit, man. She is okay. She counters the whole revive situation, but in PvE, yeah. Imagine like you just building a hero very like specifically for this. I mean, yeah, it's not gonna be for everyone, man. It's not gonna be for everyone. It's not everyone that can afford just like a hero to straight up counters like a very, very specific thing. So yeah, in PvE, she definitely is not that good. And that's not the only thing, man. She's not on a guarantee banner, not a guarantee summon. So I mean, you could go thousands of bookmarks in and not get her. I mean, there's so many players that pull like 1,000, 2,000 Covenant bookmarks, and yeah, they're not getting her. And it's very frustrating. Anyways, guys, that's really it for this one. Thanks for watching. I'm Astranox. Like, comment, subscribe for more. Press the bell icon for like to be notified whenever I release a new video, and check out my